I'm going to bring a little British history to this event, some words from Winston Churchill and Samuel Adams, because these are two individuals that had something to say about the problems Christians are facing around the world in global blasphemy laws and radical Islam. 70 years ago, Winston Churchill addressed the House of Commons, and he said this: "You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word. It is victory. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, however long or hard that road may be. For without victory, there is no survival." Are there any better words spoken today in the face of Islamic terrorism and Sharia law that not only threatens the United Kingdom, Western Europe, the United States of America, but even all of humanity? Winston Churchill said, "How dreadful are the curses which radical Islam lays upon its followers." Far from being dead, Churchill said, radical Islam is a militant and proselytizing faith. He called radical Islam a form of madness, and he never once thought of radical Islam as a religion of peace. Instead, this most historic and cherished leader of England said that radical Islam is a religion of blood and war. Madness, not a religion of peace, but a religion of blood and war. What better examples of this madness, this blood, this war, than the tragic story of Shabazz Body, who was gunned down in a hail of bullets because he was a Christian who wanted to defend another Christian who simply wanted to express her views on Islam. You know, Churchill called the radicals of Saudi Arabia austere, intolerant, well-armed. He even called them bloodthirsty. He added, and this is very important, he added that were it not for Christianity, Europe might fall as Rome fell. That battle for the human soul, faith, traditions, and individual freedoms, which Winston Churchill warned us about as far back as 1899, has now taken place throughout small and big towns throughout Western Europe. Militant Islam wants you to live under Sharia law. They want women to be forced to wear burqas. They want to set up a moral police force that would stone men and women to death for committing adultery. Their goal is to have the flag of Sharia fly over Downing Street, not too far from where I am speaking. But what is our aim, you may ask? Well, it should be victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. However long or hard that road may be, because without victory, there is no survival. John Quincy Adams. He was one of America's most famed founding fathers. For a time, he was an ambassador here in England. And while he was an ambassador to this great nation, he wrote back to Congress. This is what he said: "Radical Islam believes it has the right and duty of all Muslims to wage war upon sinners. Radical Islam wants to make them their slaves and take them as prisoners. While the laws of Sharia, the laws of the Prophet, the laws of the Quran, the Hadith, and the Sunnah are not at peace with the laws of self-governance, freedom of religion, and individual rights." In fact, John Quincy Adams said that the war between Christianity and Islam has been raging for 1,200 years. Well, it has now been 1,400 years. And John Quincy Adams warned that as long as the teachings of Muhammad were allowed to flourish, there can never be peace on earth and goodwill towards men. This is from Samuel Adams and Winston Churchill. They did not mince any words when they spoke publicly. Jesus Christ said, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." He said he came to bring division. That's because Jesus knew that the words of redemption, human dignity, love for your fellow man, it would divide families, it would divide nations, yes, It even divides religions. Jesus said, "He who believes in me will live even if he dies." Some believe the Quran says, "Fight and kill the disbelievers wherever you find them, take them captive, harass them, lie in wait, and ambush them." Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." The radicals in Islam believe Muhammad said, "Whoever changes his Islamic religion, then kill him." Jesus said, "Go into all the world and preach the good news to every creature." The Quran, it says, "So fight them until there is no more disbelief and all submit to the religion of Allah alone." Finally, Jesus said, "Follow me and I will make you fishers of men." Quran says, "The believers fight in Allah's cause. They are slain and are slain. They killed and are to be killed." Between these two great religions, John Quincy Adams said there will never be peace on earth and goodwill toward men. In a Christian world, in a civilized world, we do not behead apostates. We do not cut off the limbs of criminals. We do not hang homosexuals. We do not make women our slaves. We do not take victims of rape, bury them up to the shoulders, and then stone them to death. In a civilized world, we do not fly airplanes into buildings. We do not send suicide bombers into train stations or buses. We do not bomb trains. We don't blow up hotels. We don't stash explosives in our shoes and our underpants to kill hundreds of innocent souls. And we do not sexually mutilate our women. In a civilized world, we do not arrest people for criticizing religion. That's happened in the Netherlands, where parliamentarian group Wilders was arrested for making a film called Fitna that linked radical Islam to the Quran. Or as happened here in Liverpool, England, where a Christian hotel couple was arrested for allegedly making so-called insulting remarks against Islam. In a civilized world, we do not order public lashings of teachers who name a teddy bear after Muhammad. We do not set fires to buildings because they teach little girls. And we do not storm buildings because someone drew a picture that offended our religion. In the Lord's Prayer, we are asked to pray daily, "Lord, deliver us from evil." Edmund Burke said, "All that is necessary for evil is for the good people to do nothing." But who will deliver us from this evil? Who will save us from this wickedness? Who will rescue us from this river of death? I ask you, Englanders, where are your Winston Churchills? Will the policy of appeasement ultimately win over radical Islam? Winston Churchill said an appeaser is one that feeds a crocodile hoping that it will eat him last. Mr. Churchill also said, "It's not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we have to do what is required." Are you ready to do what is required? Not just your best, but what is required. All right, I want to thank you very much for listening to my speech, and thank you, Wilson.
Round of applause, please, for Martin Mawyer from Church Action Network.